Hello out there, it's Julie. Welcome in. Today I'm going to be talking to you about two cards from the Marielle Tarot. And I did a reading for myself. I was inquiring about um, my art, and I have a tendency to start, get really into it, create something beautiful, and then I stop because I try to start a new project and I just can't get into it. I get frustrated and I put it on the back burner. So I had done a reading, my daily pool, asking about my art, and I did my journaling. And then whenever I do it, I always take any majors that come up in my reading and I put them together and I read those. And I found this to be so interesting. The Empress, we know, is a mother figure, a nurturer, a nourisher. In this card, we see her holding a baby. It's very colorful, it's full of life. She's foraging, she's collecting apples, could be to nourish herself, or her baby, or the community, whatever it is. This is like the earth mama mother figure, right? Like that tree hugger. Like I I think of people who like follow the Grateful Dead, like those hippies, like out barefoot and like looking for food and whatever. I get that kind of energy from this specific card. She's out in nature, and she's just existing in this really natural world. And then I saw the Hierophant, and usually the Hierophant is a male, but in this deck it is female. And this is also an image of a mother, but it's definitely not as natural as this one. And it actually feels like this mother is forcing the babies to do as the mother wants. And there's not a lot of color, there's not a lot of life. I see this key around her neck, sort of saying, I am the key to your future. You are to do what I say. And of course, this is what I'm picking up from these cards. And we know the Hierophant can be about tradition, structure, dogma, conservatism, um, do as I say, not as I do, right? So the positioning of these two cards was really interesting in the reading, because in between I had the Ace of Swords, and this Ace of Swords, aces being about potential. Ace of Swords can be about a breakthrough or like big ideas, and the eagle's arms are bound, but there's a fire growing in its belly because of all this potential. It's having this huge idea, but it can't do anything with it, because at the moment it's just the potential. So seeing this come up between these two cards was really interesting. And it's sort of like I'm having a breakthrough moment in my creativity, and I really am. But if I go and I just flow with it, I'm going to come up with this beautiful creation, and then it's just going to stop, and I'm going to be stuck, and I'm going to give up again. So it's like, do I keep going that route, or do I force myself to follow through and do it even if I'm not feeling it, which will lead to me not liking my work? And that's when I was like, oh, I have to take the middle path. And here's the potential sitting right in between the two possibilities, right? So, what it means is go with the flow when I feel it. But when I'm not feeling it, don't just stop doing my art. But I have to make myself work on the foundational, structural kind of things that are going to help build my art in the long run, and the Hierophant can also be about a teacher, and those foundational things in art, shading in a triangle, drawing circles to create a head, are very, very, very important. As boring as they are, there is so much function to them. So for me, the answer was the middle path between flowing with it and the structure and the function of it. And I just thought that was really interesting, but it also made me think about, with tarot, I hear so many people say, I don't resonate with the Rider Waite Smith. I don't resonate with the Marseille. I'm going to just find a deck that I resonate with. And there's something to be said for doing that. But if you really want to allow your tarot practice to bloom and to expand, you have to make yourself work with a deck that may not be the most comfortable for you. You have to have your foundations and you have to build upon them. You have to learn the rules before you can break the rules. And the Rider-Waite-Smith, the Marseille, is your Hierophant. It's your workbook. And you will then be able to grow and flow and create with whatever deck you want when you have your foundations in place. And that middle path is what you have to take in order to be the best reader possible. So I just thought that was interesting because these two cards next to each other was just like very stark. And seeing the Hierophant in this manner, in a reading, like I know I love this card in this deck, which is why I got the first edition deck. But seeing it in the deck in this light with next to the Empress was very interesting. So I don't know. I hope you found that interesting. I hope it was helpful. But I urge you, when you do a reading for yourself, pull out the majors and look at them next to each other and see what new insights you can gain, because my reading and journaling changed completely after I looked at the majors next to each other. And it made me think that in the future, I should be looking at all the majors in my reading first and then get down into the nitty-gritty. So anyway, with that said, have a great day.